I don't think that Jasmine cheated. Jasmine says that her and Matt are friends.
Friends. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more than friends.
I see everything you do, I promise. But at the same time, you cannot compare a friend to a husband. The husband is gonna be above anyone. I'm not in a romantic relationship with him.
But have you still been intimate with Matt?
Of course I've been,
Jasmine has a very interesting definition for the word friend. She wants her husband to take her back, but she's still living and sleeping with her friend Matt. Now, the last time we saw them, despite previously saying that he wanted a divorce, despite inviting his new girl Natalie to come and spend time with him in Michigan, it very much appeared like Gino was having second thoughts about the divorce. So what's the truth? Is he into Natalie or still hoping to work things out with Jasmine?
So, how's, Natalie? What? Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you off guard there.
So good.
Now, as Gino is having dinner with cousin Dana and his wife Michelle, they take the opportunity to ask him about the new lady in his life. Like, they even tease him a little about her resemblance to Jasmine. But Gino wants to be clear, he likes Natalie for more than just her physical appearance. My feelings aren't just because she resembles Jasmine, he says. I actually really like her, and that is precisely why I've invited her to come and visit me, he says.
I would like her to meet you, both.
You'd like her to meet me?
Well, of course. Why not? Why not? We're all family.
Now, the hesitancy there is because Michelle is good friends with Jasmine. She's been very clear that she still cares a lot about her. Heck, even Dana is still holding out hope that maybe Jasmine and Gino might get back together. But Gino says that he just really hopes that Dana and Michelle can accept that he has moved on, and to try and prove to them just how serious he is about this. He tells Dana and Michelle about the last meeting he had with Jasmine in the parking lot. He tells them just how angry he was with her, how he asked her for a divorce.
Because of all the stuff she did to me with Matt.
Yeah. When you say, like, all the stuff that she's done to me, like, clarify all the stuff.
They might be family, but Michelle is not going to let Gino off the hook. She wants to know what he believes Jasmine has done. But even after Gino explains that he found phone records indicating that Jasmine and Matt had been in contact for a long time, Michelle still isn't buying it. She still isn't convinced that anything untoward actually happened.
I don't think that Jasmine cheated. Jasmine says that her and Matt are friends.
Friends. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more than friends.
Sorry, but this whole situation is so strange. First off, how would Michelle know with any certainty whether or not Jasmine was cheating before Gino agreed to the open marriage? I mean, I get that she and Jasmine are friends, but do you really expect me to believe that Jasmine would go running to her to admit that she's cheating on her cousin? No, of course she wouldn't. And as for her assertion that Matt and Jasmine are just friends, well, let's just say that my definition of friendship seems to be very different to Jasmine and Michelle's. Now, interestingly, Michelle does go on to say that she's physically spent time with Matt and Jasmine. I've seen how they get on, she says, and I've also seen that Jasmine never talks badly about you, Gino. In fact, if anything, she does the opposite.
She will tell me in front of Matt that she loves you, and I just feel like it would be strange if they were in any sort of relationship.
What? It would be strange if they're in any sort of relationship. Michelle, they are in a relationship. They're sleeping together. That is a relationship. Matt, unless you're blind, Matt, everyone can see, does have feelings for Jasmine. The truth is, Jasmine herself has told us that Michelle is her closest friend in Michigan. I don't think Jasmine would want to jeopardise that relationship and put Michelle in a very awkward position by openly talking bad about her cousin in front of her. But that's not to say Jasmine doesn't talk bad about Gino, because she does. We've literally seen it. We've seen her on the phone calling Matt to bitch about Gino. We've seen her not stop Matt, encourage Matt even, when he bitches about Gino. Now, the one caveat to that is that from what we've seen at least, Jasmine has been pretty clear with Matt that she does want to get back with Gino. Like, I still don't think that means she's only friends with Matt. Like, you can't convince me that that's just friendship. But one thing we can agree to is what Michelle says next is true.
She regrets ever agreeing to the whole open marriage thing.
Regrets it?
She regrets it.
No, sorry, Michelle. I don't know what you've been hearing, but Jasmine did a heck of a lot more than just agreeing to the whole open marriage thing. She suggested it was her idea, and heck, she even threatened to end her marriage if Gino didn't agree to it. She needs to take responsibility for that. Like, she made her bed, literally, now she has to lie in it. But, strangely, Dana and Michelle really seem to want Gino and Jasmine to get back together. Like, they may be the only people on Earth at this point who do want that, but they do. So they urge Gino to remember how things were with Jasmine in the beginning. Hold on to those rare, happy early days, they tell him. And strangely, that advice seems to be working. Gino appears to have a change of heart. Maybe I was a little rash, he admits.
When I met Jasmine in the parking lot, I was really upset and angry, and I just regret not giving her too much time to tell me how she feels.
So, in the cold light of day, now that he's calmed down and with Dana and Michelle's guidance, Gino concedes that maybe he should have another conversation with Jasmine. Maybe this time I can have a calm conversation without getting angry, he says. But while Gino might not want to get angry, someone else will. You see, we join Jasmine and Matt as they're getting pedicures together, and Jasmine shares with him that something strange has happened.
Gino called me, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And he was being so nice to me, but it was a nice surprise.
Now, it might have been an unexpected, pleasant surprise for Jasmine, but Matt is less thrilled about this surprise call. Like, when Jasmine goes on to tell him that Gino wants to meet up with her, Matt is clearly irritated by this. It's as if the poor guy just can't shake Gino off. He can't get him out of his life. Like, every time he thinks Gino is finally out of the picture and Jasmine might finally be his, Gino seems to crop back up.
I don't understand why you're trying to do this again with Gino. You're only always looking at the positive of it.
Yeah, I want to go
And then when you get
to the
there,
meeting
there's only negative when you show up.
I actually have to agree with Matt. Things never go to plan when Jasmine and Gino meet up. Like, she might hope that this time will be different, but we all know that it won't be. Now, Matt is worried and clearly frustrated. He can't understand why the woman he seems to love can't just move on, can't see that he's there waiting for her. I do so much more for you than your husband does, Matt says to Jasmine.
But at the same time, you cannot compare a friend to a husband. The husband is going to be above anyone.
There's that word again, friend. Really? I mean, Matt's face says what we're all thinking. What they have is so much more than just a friendship. They're living together and sleeping together. That is more than many relationships even have. And while Matt might be sick of the back and forth, Jasmine says that she won't be able to forgive herself if she doesn't at least go and try to fix things with Gino. So the next time we see her, she's arriving at the restaurant to meet up with Gino. But she's nervous.
The last time that I talked to Gino, he actually said, I want to divorce you. Like, he could easily come tonight with divorce papers. It might happen tonight, I don't know.
At least this time she is going into this meeting without the delusion of last time. Last time she was convinced that she might be moving back in with Gino, whereas this time she thinks she might be getting divorced. And it's clear that these two never really know what they're going to get from each other. But when Gino finally arrives, things do actually start off quite well. Like, the conversation's flowing, there's laughter, humour, and the whole vibe is very different from the last time they met.
Oh, that seat is taken.
Oh, someone's sitting here? Matt?
This is something that we haven't seen from these two in a very long time. They're being playful with each other. They can see the humour of this fucked up situation. Now, Jasmine tells Gino right off the bat that she still cares about him. And Gino admits that he's heard the same from Michelle too. Michelle told me that you never speak badly about me, he says. Now this opens the door for them to reminisce a little bit. They talk about the good old times and seemingly concerned for him, whether it's genuine concern or maybe she's trying to show him what he's missing out on. Jasmine asks to know what Gino has been eating, considering no one's there to cook for him anymore.
Don't tell me frozen dinners, please, because I'm gonna cry.
My recycle bin is full of boxes.
Look, they're being nice to each other, that's good, right? They're showing each other that despite everything that's happened, they do still care. I mean, if you have to end a marriage, right, this is the right way to do it. After all those years together, despite what's happened, despite the anger that's still there, they do still care for each other, and that is totally normal. But, sadly, we all know that this sweet mood isn't gonna last long. But while it does, Gino's enjoying it. Like, all of a sudden, he's not so sure that he really does need to end things now.
It's hard just to let everything go. It's like, maybe there is something little that's still there, you know, between us.
Gino's so conflicted that when Jasmine asks him what his plans are for the divorce, he actually backtracks. He admits that he only blurted that out because he was angry. But I'm not really certain that I actually want it, he says. Now, let me just point out the obvious, right? Natalie is going to be furious when she hears about that. But ultimately, Gino and Jasmine do agree, and it's correct, that divorce shouldn't just be a spur-of-the-moment decision. So, that being the case, Gino wants to know exactly where he stands. Like, Jasmine, how do you feel about us? He asks.
I miss us. I miss you.
Now, while this might have been the point where things actually turned for the better, instead, this is the moment where the conversation begins to head south. If you really miss me so much, why are you still living with Matt? Why haven't you gotten your own place and broken ties with him? Gino asks. Now, Jasmine insists that it's purely for financial reasons. If that's the case, says Gino, tell me, what is your relationship with Matt these days?
I'm not in a romantic relationship with him.
But have you still been intimate with Matt?
Of course I've been,
Of course I have, she says, as if he's asking a stupid question. I'm sorry, Jasmine, but if you were serious about fixing your relationship with Gino, if you really want to mend things, you need to stop doing what we can all see has broken this man's heart. I'm sorry, but regardless of her financial situation, that isn't a good enough reason. Why couldn't she crash with Dana and Michelle, for example? Now, the problem is, Jasmine still acts like she doesn't understand why this is an issue. But in doing so, she just undermines herself, doesn't she? She says we've heard her say that she regrets the open marriage, but if that's the case, why is she still so resistant to ending it?
And you miss me and you still want to get back together with me, but you're Matt right now. You're living with Matt, and you're Matt, probably every day.
Sorry, but it's true. What Gino has just said is correct. Her actions prove without any doubt that sex with Matt is more important to her than fixing her marriage. Now, Jasmine at this point asks Gino what he wants. And Gino says to her, because you continue to do what you're doing with Matt, I'm going to explore my side of this open marriage by bringing Natalie over to meet my family.
So you're dating? She's your girlfriend. This is more than an open marriage.
No. No.
That's a bit rich. I mean, pot, meet, kettle. If you're going to use that argument, then living with someone is more than an open marriage too, Jasmine. Both of them have made this whole thing extremely messy. But Jasmine goes on to remind Gino that this whole arrangement started in the first place because of him. He couldn't show affection to her. He couldn't be intimate with her. So, do you have the same problem with Natalie, she asks. What have you and Natalie actually been up to?
I don't believe that you haven't been intimate with her.
I did kiss her. It was very passionate.
Listen to what you're saying.
Gino is enjoying rubbing her face in it, isn't he? He knows that this is the only semblance of power that he has. He knows that this can and will hurt Jasmine. Like, given that Jasmine has had to practically beg on her hands and knees for any form of affection from Gino throughout their entire marriage, hearing that he's easily and passionately giving it to someone else has to hurt. That must be a dagger to Jasmine's heart. And unsurprisingly, this is the last straw for this conversation. Yeah, it ends as we all expected that it would.
You, Gino.
Oh, wow. Have a good life. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Look, the truth is, whoever you want to point fingers at, and both of them have a lot of faults, both are responsible for the end of this marriage. I just wish that they could both admit that it is now definitively over. They both need to move on. They both have new people to move on with. So continuing this toxic cycle is only going to cause more unnecessary tears and anger. Like, just let this terrible marriage go already, for all of our sakes.